Ever since Street Fighter 4, Street Fighter games have a separate meter from your super meter that determines the overall flow of the game and all of your decision making, and Street Fighter 6 is no different with its drive gauge. There are several ways to spend meter, and the way it goes up and down as you fight your opponent kinda reminds me of the Art of Fighting series. In that game, you need to use meter to perform special moves, otherwise they're terrible. There are ways to fill it up, like being able to key charge by holding an attack button. There are also ways to make your opponent lose meter by taunting. While the drive gauge cannot be influenced by taunting or charging your key, there are several ways and several mechanics that can lead you to having a lot or very little meter. So today we're going to be looking at how to spend that meter, how to gain meter, how to lose meter, and what happens if you don't have any meter at all. So there are 5 ways to spend meter in Street Fighter 6. Overdrive attacks, which are based on EX moves. Drive reversals, which are based on alpha counters and other type of guard cancelling attacks. Drive parry, based on the parry mechanic of Street Fighter 3. Drive impact and drive rush, based on focus attack and focus attack dash cancel. Now these are the ways you can use to spend meter, but you don't have all the meter in the world to spend, so here's how you can get some meter back. The first one is simply standing still. Just like with the Grey Life, if you stand still and not get hit or not block, you'll regenerate drive over time. Now there is a way to make your drive gauge regenerate faster. If you walk towards the opponent, your drive gauge will recover a little bit quicker. This is similar to some Arxis titles like Dragon Ball FighterZ, where running towards your opponent or dashing or walking, whatever, fills up your gauge. Next up, landing punish counters, which are basically Street Fighter 6's version of crush counters. You'll only refund a small amount, but if you punish counter with a move that hits multiple times, you will recover drive per hit. Landing attacks. The heavier the attack is used on the opponent, the more meter you get. Parrying attacks. Using a parry in Street Fighter 6 costs half a pip, and if you get a parry, you get half a pip back. So if you parry an attack that hits multiple times, you gain more than you spend. Character-specific abilities. We don't know the extent of it in Street Fighter 6, but we do know that from the beta, when Jamie reaches drink level 4, using the drink command refills 1 pip of drive, as well as being able to stay in burnout for less longer.
Taking a drink after you reach level 4 actually increases his drive gauge. Every drink he takes increases his drive gauge when he's at level 4. And this also applies if he uses his level 2 super to get it.
And finally, using a level 3 super. Now, like I said, not pressing a button will make the drive rush meter fill up automatically. However, not pressing a button and watching the level 3 animation play out is different from just simply standing still, because I'm about to demonstrate you a combo by FightElement on Twitter, link in the description. He performs the God combo. I'm gonna skip a little bit towards when he does the level 3. He uses a lot of drive bar. Like you can see it's almost down, and here it's empty. So pay attention to that bar, now that it's empty, while Gal is punching Ryu around like a punching bag. So the moment he lands the startup of Spire double somersault, the burnout gauge regenerates. So it implies that if you burn out during a combo, you cannot regenerate until the combo ends or you land a level 3. Because for most characters, the level 3 ends while you're in burnout. Because for many characters, the combo ends while the level 3 animation plays out. But I'm wondering for characters like Jamie, who is a non-CA level 3, can be comboed into EX dash palm into DP. Now to cover ways you can lose drive gauge through your opponent's actions. The first one is blocking attacks. In Street Fighter V, hitting the opponent on block using medium and heavy normals will deal great life damage. This is expanded in Street Fighter VI. So long as the opponent has a drive gauge and is not in burnout, not just medium and heavies, but also lights and special moves can drain the opponent's drive gauge. As for health, they do not lose any health at all when blocking an attack. More info on that later. Punish counter, once again, as I said, you gain a bit per hit of the punish countering attack, but the opponent loses an entire pip. Getting hit by drive impact makes you lose half a pip. If you get hit by punish counter drive impact, it stacks. So it's 1 pip from the punish counter and half a pip from the drive impact. You lose 1 pip and a half, which is a lot. Getting hit by super attacks. If your opponent's almost in burnout state, then performing a level 1 super is a good way to finish the job while also dealing good damage. Which make level 3s a big deal because while you're losing drive, they're gaining drive. And just like how character-specific abilities can gain meter, some character-specific abilities can make the opponent lose meter as well. Here is Nash's Tragedy Assault. And here's Judy with V-Trigger 2. No such ability exists in Street Fighter 6 as of yet. But, since Dan is a parody of Art of Fighting, would it be far-fetched to suggest that his taunts could eliminate meter in Street Fighter 6? Now using your drive ability is really fun, but it's very important to not overspend, otherwise you'll end up in burnout. Here are the reasons why you should not overspend. Number 1 is taking chip damage. Under normal circumstances, there is no chip at all. However, the moment you enter burnout, you actually start taking chip damage from special moves. This is kind of a half and half combination of Street Fighter games having chip damage and chip kills at all times, and Street Fighter V limiting chip kills to special moves. The second reason why burnout sucks is because you'll lose all your defensive options. Because you don't have a drive gauge, you cannot use overdrives, you cannot use drive parry, you cannot use drive reversal, you cannot use drive impact, and you cannot use drive rush. Drive impact has 2 hit armor, drive parry and drive reversal are defensive mechanics, and overdrive means using EX special moves. So if you cannot use EX special moves, you cannot perform EX reversal special moves like the Shoryuken. Now some of you might be wondering, why can't I just do a regular reversal special move? In previous games, and Street Fighter V Season 1, you did not need meter to perform invincible special moves. But it's Season 2 of Street Fighter V, everything changed. Depending on what character you play, either all versions or only the light version can beat air attacks. So if someone performs a jump in, you could just Shoryu it, but it won't work on someone performing a grounded medium wake up. And depending on the character you play, medium and heavy does nothing. This means in order to be a full body invul again, you needed to spend meter. And if you burn out, well guess what? You cannot use any drive ability. Not even overdrive, meaning you don't have a full body invincible anything. Now some characters actually have meterless defensive options. Cammy's Axel Spin Knuckle is projectile invincible. And according to the leak, Marissa has a couple super armor moves. But these are very situational and pale in comparison to what you have available as drive abilities, so not good. And lastly, frame advantage. Most normals are like -1, -2. Most of them are minus. It's very rare for them to be actually plus normally. Unlike Street Fighter V, where some moves are deemed plus or minus. However, there are 4 different frame advantage bonuses. Counter hits, which are +2. Crush counters, which are +4. The use of Drive Rush, in which using Drive Rush makes you +4. And you don't even have access to that when you're in Burnout. And the very fact you're in Burnout makes you +4. So if you're in Burnout and someone punishes your recovery with a Drive Rush attack, they have a +12 bonus on their attack. So if their move is normally -1, now they're +11. So yeah, don't get in Burnout, it sucks.